This video is about the visual novel, but most of it will apply to the anime as well. Also, there will be spoilers. Onikakushi is the first chapter in Higurashi, and as such, serves as an introduction to the setting and the characters. I'm not going to bother explaining every single detail about this, but there are a few points regarding this I would like to bring up. We get introduced to the club activities early on, and this is important not only to understand the nature of the club and to spend more time with these characters, but also is a cool way of introducing us to the personalities and relationships of these characters. We also get a pretty good picture of the Hinamizawa village as the setting. It's this old-fashioned countryside village with a nice nature and a tight-knit community. Then we start getting glimpses to the dark side of the village as the main character Keiichi starts learning about the dam conflict and the curse surrounding it. This is where the story starts shifting tone as more and more mysterious and unsettling things start happening around Keiichi. One of my favorite scenes from the chapter is one where Keiichi is chatting with Rena on the way home from school. This is the day after he learns about the murder and is planted with the doubt of his friends by Oishi. Keiichi decides to ask if the others are hiding something from him, clearly showing his suspicion towards his friends. All sound stops as Rena denies it, creating this sense of tension. As the background noise returns, Keiichi keeps pressing the matter faced with a moment of regret for doubting his friend. But then ominous background music starts as the tint in Rena's eyes changes, as she shows that she is much sharper than it might first appear. She tells that she knows everything and what Keiichi is hiding from them, and hints that he should trust his friends. And then she delivers the uncharacteristic shout, "That's a lie!" This is delivered with a bang and makes us question her personality and true motives. This scene is incredibly unsettling with its use of sound effects and changes in the character art that replaying it still gives me goosebumps. And after this we really are suspicious of Rena and unable to trust her for the rest of the chapter along with Keiichi. And it is this atmosphere of doubt what I think this chapter does masterfully. Now, while this chapter to me is more about the introduction and the suspense, it does explore some themes of the story as well. Much of this is not clear before the answer arc, but in this chapter Keiichi is incapable to trusting his friends or the village, which fueled by Oishi makes him succumb to paranoia. Now, paranoia itself is just an extreme version of mistrust, where you feel irrational fear and think everyone is against you. Because of story being told from Keiichi's point of view, we get to feel this fear along with him, and the way we come to understand what he is going through is important. Then ultimately, when his mistrust and paranoia hit their peak, we get the tragic and bloody ending of Onikakushi. The question arcs are great with their mysteries, but to truly understand their importance to the overall story we need the answer arcs. Tsumihoroboshi is the answer arc to Onikakushi, and as that might suggest, gives us the answers to it and tells us what was happening and the point of it all. It is told mostly from the point of view of Rena, and I must say the characterization she gets in this chapter is why she is my favorite character in Higurashi. We learn that her parents have divorced and the guilt from back then had put her near insanity. Like everything in Higurashi, all the tragedies and negative things happening are very extreme, but the feelings behind those actions are extremely real, and as someone whose parents have divorced, I could relate to those feelings extremely well. This also applies to what Keiichi was going through in Onikakushi. He had just moved into a new environment and ended up feeling isolated from the rest of the village. This feeling of isolation was ultimately behind his extreme mistrust and paranoia. Another aspect of Rena's character that resonated with me so much is her concept of happiness and happy days. As she puts it, happy days are born from boredom. If you can recognize how happy you are, that means that you're not truly happy, and it is but a moment's relief from the hardships life's throwing at you. It makes me wonder if I myself am content with my everyday happiness, or if much like Rena, I'm convincing myself that by thinking that I'm not happy, I'm somehow at the wrong by feeling so. In this story, those happy days do end up coming to an end, when Rena ends up committing the ultimate sin of murder. This leads out to her conflict with her friends at the trash pile when they find the dismembered corpses. She declares that she thinks that she did the right thing by fighting for her happiness and that people who are satisfied with their life have no right to judge her. The real issue in this conflict though is not that she fought for her happiness, but rather that she did it all alone without trusting her friends and seeking help. She brings up Satoshi's case from last year and how despite him trying so hard he didn't get any help. The truth is everyone regrets their past mistakes of not helping him, and this is why you have to atone for them, to move on, to not make the same mistake again. People learn from their mistakes and grow as people through that. This time they are able to respond to Rena's cries for help, but if she would have been able to trust everyone, the tragedy could have been avoided. But as Keiichi puts it, this was necessary to happen. This was needed to break away the distrust from the previous year and for them to become true friends. Rena does end up becoming a victim of paranoia similar to Keiichi in Onikakushi, because of the influence from Takano's scrapbook leads her to doubting her friends. During this, she accuses Keiichi of hiding bad things he had done before moving to Hinamizawa. You might notice it's pretty much the same as in Onikakushi but with roles reversed. This time though, Keiichi really takes these accusations to heart and reflects on his own past doubts and starts to question the nature of friendship. If you truly trust your friends, why would you hide anything from them? He decides to confess these past mistakes to everyone else, but instead of receiving the forgiveness he was looking for, he is taught a lesson that past mistakes are not what makes you today, and friendship is not about dwelling on this past. This sincere desire to atone for his sins though is what leads to a miracle. Keiichi remembering the sin he committed during Onikakushi. This allows him to realize where these feelings are coming from and how not seeking help can lead to these extreme actions. He and Rena are very similar, and this is what helps him to understand the nature of the situation and also to gain the resolve he needed to do what Rena did for him back then. At this point we have all the answers for the chapter, and all that needs to happen is for all of them to come together. This happens at the rooftop in the form of Keiichi and Rena fighting each other in what appears to be a deadly fight. In reality though, they are just going back to the happy days by having some club activities. This scene is great because of the way it's presented. It's exactly the same as the club activities earlier in the story as well. Long and detailed descriptions of what is going on, and the characters taking a silly situation very seriously, as in doing their best to win. By getting thrown back to these happy days, Rena is able to realize what she truly wants, and what she has been doing has been working against that. We get this great emotional payoff as Rena breaks down crying, and it's these kinds of emotional payoffs that make this chapter for me. And as Keiichi proclaims his victory over the tragedy, we get to understand what the story is actually about. Trust and the power of friendship. Letting go of your past and learning from one's mistakes. And finally, seeking out help when pushed into a corner, so you won't be driven to these extreme actions.